She says, I have done nothing to warrant this attention. I'm going, is that not, I mean, if two people are together, is that not something that is like kind of, something that somebody wants, would be attention sort of thing. If you don't want it, then that's fine. Um, but then, as I say, months would go past nothing. Then I would see her because obviously I would be singing in the bar. Things would develop a wee bit further, only from my point of view, with because I was always I really just wanted to talk to her, you know, because I was seeing, I was seeing her all the time, in the bar, and obviously, she's a beautiful girl, but that wasn't anything to do really with the reason why I was sort of being like, sort of enthusiastic, about my sort of, communications with her. It was purely to do with the fact that, she, she was, like a girl who got me, and I got her, from, the point of view of knowing what her. I mean, like, she sent me a message from her dad's house last Christmas, with the two of them, with the wee feet on a poofy, and Metallica was on the TV. It was, chilling with dad, watching Metallica sort of thing, and I'm going, that's amazing. But then, a couple of weeks would go past, and then nothing. And I mean, it's been fucking, I never, there would be long times, where there would be nothing, and then, but if we happened to be in the same place at the same time, and this is the thing that actually annoys me, about the whole thing, uh, because it turned out that, she, she must have turned around to her dad and said, that guy, me, is, he's sort of just too much. I want him to back off. And never once was I told that. You know, I was told, I don't, I haven't done anything to warrant this attention, but never once was I told, listen, back off, sort of thing. So I actually thought that's like, sort of the conversations that I was having with her, and they were all, just matter of fact things, just family and friends and music and meeting up for dinners and stuff like that. There was nothing lewd about anything. But I always wondered why when I was singing in the bar, and she was off, she would come along, you know. She would be there with, a lovely wee dress and stuff on, maybe with friends, maybe not. Maybe she would just be sitting at the bar. So if she actually really felt that, kind of intimidation, you know, sort of feeling from me, stay away, from the bar when it's my nights to sing. Um, because there were a lot of times whenever I wasn't singing there and she wasn't there, but then all of a sudden I was singing there. And in actual fact, the last time that I had, a sort of a kind of a one-on-one with her was because I was actually singing in the bar in question, but I was upstairs at a private function. So there was no reason whatsoever for this girl to be there. And yet she came up maybe 5, 6 times, walked around, She was working downstairs, she could have stayed downstairs, but she came up. And she was collecting glasses and stuff. And then I took my break, And when I took my break, I went down and I said hello to her, And that conversation that I had with her, the girl who was working behind the bar at the time, was brought into it, and we were only talking about our kids and the old times in the centre spot or whatever. It was small talk, and then I went home, and obviously I'd had a beer or whatever, but all it did was I sent her a wee message and said, it was nice to speak to you, about old times, you know, in a sort of a civil way with with you feeling, safe with, a friend or whatever. Um, and by the way, you look beautiful, and that's what I do. That is what I say. It doesn't mean that I'm, in any way a threat, to anybody. So that was a few weeks back. The week after, um, I was singing in the bar. It was the last time I was singing in the bar, and she came in with her friends, and her dad was there as well, and her, you know, there were it was just like a little clique anyway, and I was singing, and everything was great, for the first half, whatever, and I was speaking to a couple of friends, during during my break and stuff, and then her dad came up to me. Now, the girl, she was still with her friends, but must have went into the back bar or whatever. So her dad came up to me and said, "Can I speak to you outside?" sort of thing, and I said, "Mate, we can speak here," And he went, you know, "Leave my daughter alone," and I'm going, I do leave your daughter alone whenever she wants to be left alone. But if she's there, and you know I can say hello to her, I'll say hello to her. And if there's, the ability to then, sort of, it's not as if, I'm lusting after your daughter sort of thing. And he was like, "Let's go outside," and I went, "Mate," I was nearly saying his name there. I says, you know for a fact that I can't go outside because I've got to go up here and sing, And I had like, he timed it just brilliant, because why did he not come up to me at the start of my break to ask me outside, and then I had a full, 20 minutes, 25 minutes to go outside and have this fight or whatever that he had fictionalized in his head. But he waited until like 1 minute before I was going back on again. You and me outside, and I'm going, "Listen, wait until I've finished, and whenever we've finished, you and I can go outside." And, you know, plus the fact, I mean, that I knew, that if I laid one finger on him, that I was going to be the worst in the world, you know. So a lot of things came factoring into my head anyway. But I was looking over his shoulder, and I was seeing his daughter. And when I say she's, the daughter, she's nearly 40. You know what I mean? It's not that she's, some kid. She's, she is a very mature young woman. And she was with her friends anyway. And I could see that they were brewing something up. So the dad, I squared up to him at one point, and then the two of us sort of, were like pushing inside the bar, but then it was split up. And then he kept on shouting and fucking spluttering from his seat at the bar. And I was about to start singing, and I couldn't stand it any longer. And I went down to the bar and just said to him, "Listen, you're speaking on your daughter's behalf, but let her speak for herself, because that's the one thing that she hasn't done the whole time, is the say